Are you looking to sail on Vision of the Seas, Royal Caribbean's Vision of the Seas? Well, stick around.
Monkey love, oh monkey love, travel. Pack your bags, let's hit the gravel.
Welcome to Monkey Love Travel. It's good to have you here. My name is Jason,
I'm Becca.
and today we're going to talk about our likes, dislikes, and our overall would we go on Royal Caribbean's Vision of the Seas again? And hopefully at the end, you can answer the ultimate question, is Royal Caribbean's Vision of the Seas for you? So my first like is just the overall feel of the ship. It's extremely relaxing. It's very comfortable. When we walked on board and we got situated, it was literally I felt the stress just melt off of me. I mean, and for me, that is probably my biggest like.
Absolutely. It was very relaxing.
I mean, I did have my second like is just the amazing staff. They go above and beyond to make you feel more than at home. You are literally on vacation. You are pampered. You are taken care of. We want it and need it for nothing. Our stateroom attendant, Miss Zadwa,
Chadwa.
was fantastic. If you're ever when you're I should say when you're on Vision of the Seas, if you have Miss Zadwa as your state attendant, tell her Jason and Becca said hi.
She's amazing.
Yeah.
She might remember us for our little notes on our board.
Yeah, maybe, yeah.
So I think my favorite thing maybe was that it's kind of, to me, it's kind of the perfect ship size. It's very small, so obviously if you are looking for larger, bigger, more glamorous, all the bells and whistles, maybe not, but for me, very quickly we knew where everything was. It didn't take very long to be able to orient ourselves to what was where, what floors they were on, and whether it was the front or the back, whether it was side.
I think you picked it up quicker than I did.
I actually did, because I still have a very oddly male gender
Sense of direction.
Yes, I do. I have spatial qualities that other women don't have. But still, I did. I think I was also more worried about it because I get lost a lot more easily than you do. Not male at all. So I was also keying in to make sure I knew where everything was. Because I didn't want to lose my car in the parking lot of Wells Fargo kind of situation happening. So
Yeah.
it might have been because I was more keyed into it. But it is a ship that no matter who you are, it won't take you long, if it's important to you, to know where do I go for the elevators, where are the stairs for my stateroom versus the other amenities on the ship. So that was, to me, still one of the best things that I don't know other ships will ever replace, but we'll see. They can try. And also the hot tubs being available when we wanted to use them, being people who aren't jumping in with 12 other people. We just kind of want them to ourselves and maybe share with 2 other people. There was really never a time where we couldn't go get in a hot tub and experience that, which I just don't
An
expect
evening
to see.
decompress in the
Yes,
hot tub was fantastic.
absolutely. Yep.
I mean, okay, so we're gonna move on to dislikes. My first, and it's kind of a major dislike for me, and it has a lot to do with my lack of hearing. So when you go into the Centrum is the big, bold, and beautiful center hub of the Vision of the Seas, and guest services is also located there. So you got to go to guest services for all kinds of different reasons. But when you do, all right, they always have a band or something going on in the Centrum, entertaining the guests, which is great. It's fantastic. But when you want to conduct, business that you're trying to take care of, with guest services or Zoom internet or Next Desk, because they're all there as well, you can't hear. You have to yell, and they're 2 feet away from you.
You can't hear.
I'd
be lack
I
of a
would
hearing
challenge
aid.
anyone to hear
It
properly.
is difficult. I certainly had the same problem.
Right.
more difficult if you have any kind of hearing loss, though.
I mean, but
Literally.
as far as things go, and that being my major dislike, that's easy to get over. I mean, hopefully you're not needing to spend a ton of time at guest
Yeah, that wouldn't
services.
be good.
Yeah. Okay, so my second dislike is a lack of places to get food that's included in your cruise fare already. So really, there's only two locations that you can get, a meal of that sort. And that's going to be, the main dining. Well, I'm sorry, three places: the main dining room, the Windjammer buffet, and then you got Park Cafe. Those are really your only three options. Late night, it's going to be Park Cafe if you want pizza or stuff like that. But pretty much everything else is going to be specialty dining. Again, that's a side effect of being on a smaller ship. The larger ships obviously have more options, but for me, the lack of choice was a dislike.
Uh,
Minor, but still a
I was
dislike.
gonna say probably also depends on how much choice you feel like you need. Because
Correct.
on the ship, I don't remember during our cruise you actually being that discontented
That's true.
because Park Cafe had
It's a
cookies that were
hindsight
really
dislike.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had lots of stuff you liked, so it wasn't that in the moment you felt like there wasn't enough. But looking back on it, yeah, for sure, if there was somewhere extra. I know for me, the soup was great at Park Jammer or Park Cafe. Park Jammer. Wind Cafe. At Park Cafe, which I loved. There were some problems with trying to get the soup up to your room if you didn't want to try to eat it there because they had this big slopping bowl that spilled everywhere. Um, but I mean, the cookies were always good. The pizza was always available. They always had that stuff. It was more of the looking back on it. Yeah, what if there had been another place we could have gone to and not just been stuck with that?
Right.
So, and for me, I think really there was only two things that really bugged me. I guess, well, not bugged me, but they have lots of planned activities that you're getting sent to you in your itinerary on your app. You always get to choose from. Some of them were silly, probably geared towards kids or adolescents, but I'm a weirdo, so the coloring, like the Zen coloring, really appealed to me. I was like, let's go. Maybe they'll have coloring things that I don't have access at home. And you get up there and you find out it's really just a pile of photocopied coloring pages and a bin of colored pencils, which this is probably not good to admit, but I have more variety here at home than they were offering. And you're stuck with, if you don't get there on time, you're stuck with whatever's left over and white, silver, or turquoise to color your pictures with. So, to me, if you're going to say it's a planned activity, you really should make sure you're leading an activity, and there are lots of materials that no matter how many people show up, they'll get to use. And then my only other one was the parade of flags. I thought was kind of the coolest thing that was happening on the ship because you got to go
And Juliana, your homeless manager from Peru.
watch everyone that you were interacting on board with who was, regardless of whether they were your wait staff or your, room attendant, you pretty quickly knew, partially because it's on their badges, who they were and where they were from. So when the Parade of Flags ceremony happens, which I think is the night before you get off the ship, or 2 nights before, one or the other, before one of the formal nights, I think.
Yeah.
They do a parade of flags where they represent every country that's on board, all of their staff. Those individuals are there to represent and do whatever, is ethnically appropriate or, enriching from their own countries. It's a really, really
Yeah, it's
cool
pretty
event.
cool.
And it was frustrating that they plan it over the dinner time hour when people are coming and going, whether they have scheduled dinner times or they're doing the anytime,
Right.
my time dining. This is Royal Caribbean specific, but it was just frustrating because I know for us, we were very excited to wait for South Africa and Zadwa, and it was literally a decision of do we wait and do we wait and do we wait, or do we go actually eat our dinner.
Yeah.
So I just feel like they could tweak that and do a little better job of
Either do it
planning
earlier or
But doing it at a time when everyone can participate, including if you are including a lot of wait staff. I mean, we know room attendants have to be busy all day long, but there's so more availability to tweak their schedules. If you're talking about wait staff, you're really talking about 3 periods of time during the night where they need to be available. So to me, don't do it then. Do it leading up to when their shifts start or something like that. I just think they should all be able to participate. And as guests on the ships, you want to support them, so you should always be able to see those people participate. But
so the overall question for, would you sail on Vision of the Seas again?
1,000 times.
1,000 times. Why?
Because it was just very peaceful, very relaxing. I felt like they had that perfect balance of giving you the things that you want on a cruise. Some variety in dining. There's dining available all the time. There's multiple pools. You can relax and just enjoy the ship. They had everything from kind of, obviously not as recreational as some of the bigger ships have, but you had the track, you had a fitness room, you had the ability, a rock climbing wall, and sports competitions to be involved that way. But then there was also spas and things that were a lot of the activities were geared towards relaxation and rejuvenation. And there, to me, never felt like there was any pressure to participate in anything that wasn't
do what
jam.
you want when you want.
Yep. So if when I wanted to just take a nap and you went and did your thing, or in the evening if I was like, okay, I'm old and I need to go to bed early, or vice versa, you get up before I do. Oh, wow, do I sound lazy listening to all of this, but still. All of that, you never felt like there wasn't an appropriate space for you that you were happy about. I never felt like that on my end. To me, that just says it's a well-balanced experience.
Right. And I would 100% agree with you. I would absolutely do Vision of the Seas again myself. For me, it's again the relaxation piece. And, I come back to one of our favorite times was early in the morning walking the track, watching the sun come up, in the evenings watching the sun go down, and just having that feeling of being out on the open seas, not seeing really anything else around you but the ocean, and then seeing the people on the ship. But it was just, you get those crow's feet, it relaxes those crow's feet.
Crow's feet? Okay.
Those things right there.
Yeah, when the sun goes down, they relax a lot.
So, who would you recommend for sailing on Vision of the Seas?
Probably anyone who is taking their first cruise. Definitely. I am, to me, it is the perfect wade in the water, figure out how you feel about it kind of cruise. I worry that if people have never been on a cruise before and they're questioning whether it's for them, if you go on the really bigger ships with lots of stuff going on, it might be overwhelming. I mean, I know that there are cruises that are much more expensive and high end that I could see someone feeling uncomfortable if they had to be on that kind of ship. To me, the Vision is just kind of that perfect scenario of a cruise that offers lots of stuff, lots of things to do, some things to make people who, there's lots of shopping opportunities and so on and so forth that mean nothing to me really, or you, but for other people would be enriching. Right. The spa is fantastic. They have a beautiful spa. All of the spa services.
Pretty decent fitness room too.
Yeah, the fitness room isn't bad. And they offer all of those things, yet without the pressure of feeling like that's what the cruise is about. So, to me, if you've just never cruised, first time cruisers, to me, it's kind of ideal.
Now, before I give you, on who I think would be beneficial to sail on Vision of the Seas, if we could take a moment to invite you to subscribe, it really helps out the channel. Give us a like, please, and share us.
or constructive criticism is also good.
Yep, like comments are always welcome.
We need
try to
growth.
answer every one of them.
Yep.
All right, so the people I think would be most beneficial in sailing on Vision of the Seas are those that are looking to chill. You're more low key. You're not looking for that constant thrill and adventure. That's just not going to be Vision of the Seas for you. Now, if you want to go to Vision of the Seas and sail to Coco Key, then you're going to find some thrill and adventure. It's a beautiful island, by the way. But I would recommend someone who's looking for the chill and low key for Vision of the Seas. Like you said, a lot of first time cruisers. Perfect.
One thing I did think of is I would not have recommended it for anybody who wants to party. However, I'm kind of using my critical thinking skills and realizing that that's not us. So we're not trying to partake in any of the later night 11 past kind of party atmospheres. So I don't feel comfortable trying to speak to how good Vision is with that, just because we never really wanted to partake in that. It could be great. It could be awful. I wouldn't want anybody to say, oh, well, they said it was low key, if that makes sense.
Yep. Certainly does. So the ultimate question is, Royal Caribbean's Vision of the Seas going to be for you? And that's only a question that only you can answer. And hopefully this video has given you more ammunition, so to speak, into answering that question.
Yeah.
If you need more information and you would like to check out a walking tour of Vision of the Seas, please check out the video that's on screen now. And until next time.
Monkey love, oh monkey love, travel. Pack your bags, let's hit the gravel.